What's a good podcast without a little mystery, anyways?
Got to shut off the Skinner. So, all right. Welcome to the Bullet Hole Podcast. I'm Lyle Cadell, the media manager here at the Bullet Hole, and we're powered up by Custom Built Firearms Manufacturing, which is based right here at the Bullet Hole. What is Custom Built? By the way, we do AR-9s all the way up to AR-10s, our own stuff. Somebody asked the other day, well, do you put other people's stuff together and it's just custom built? I said, no, we put our own stuff together because it's custom built, B-I-L-T. So anyhow, custom built guns, and and we always say whether at home, at the range, or in the field, it's custom built for life. Today we are going to discuss forgotten guns, forgotten weapons, and in the age of the 9mm, like, being gone as far as ammo goes, and the age of polymer wonders and all that type of thing, that's where we're going to go, is to talk about some of these cool old guns. Some would say these are FUD guns. Some of you don't know what FUD means. It's good because these are they're classic stuff and everything. And Jim's going to be joining us here in a second, I wanted to, come on in, man. He's a busy dude. Jim's a busy dude.
Sometimes.
The Bullet Hole is a busy place. There's lots of things going on.
That's a good thing,
Yes.
We need busy.
It is. What were you guys doing this morning?
Ripping up carpet.
Yeah.
We're tired of the carpet in the showroom, so it's going away. And it's starting to look really good. So.
And they're getting their workout in.
Oh yeah, it's absolute core workout, 100%. I still feel it.
We're getting ready for next summer.
I'm gonna have fantastic washboard abs by Thanksgiving at this point.
Yeah, that'll work. Yep. As long as we can keep them through Christmas, we'll be good.
So if you're coming into the shop, make sure you look at the floor and the guns, because the floor's changed. And so we kind of thought that carpet in a shooting range, if anybody knows anything about lead, that might be something.
That's probably not the best.
Yeah. So
and to clarify, there's no carpet on the range. It's just in the showroom. And
there you go.
Trying to make it look cleaner.
It's like that. What's the commercial? The dude showering with carpet. Remember that?
I don't, but that terrifies me.
Yes, it does. Man. Yeah. So anyhow, I don't know how we got off on that little rabbit there, but it's all right. All right. Forgotten weapons. And truly, I mean, we run out of 9mm all the time. 40.
Yes. Yes, we have been.
And 45 is too.
380 as well.
380 just gone.
Yep.
That is the one thing that's interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. We did get a case of it in for range use only. So
now
if you're listening, this is like, what is this, Friday the 8th of October?
No, this is Thursday the 8th of October.
Yep, Thursday.
Yeah.
It's my Friday, just to clarify. So,
So, but we do get and have like 38 special, 38 plus P, 357 mag, 10 mil, some
little bit,
some 10 mil.
Yeah.
And this little guy right here, we're going to talk about too. But the idea that we're going to talk about is sometimes we think, we got to have the polymer wonder, and all of us carry a polymer wonder or a steel wonder, as he does, and you shoot a steel wonder.
Yep.
CZ. I carry a Glock and a Smith and some other guns. So, but there's the good old stuff, man. It still works.
Awesome stuff.
And you're kind of a collector too. Some of the oldies.
I like some of the old stuff.
Yeah, and it's still. I mean, it works. So
absolutely,
we're going to go through some of these guns that actually, for different situations. Thinking about different situations, and Greg's nearest the toys. I've got one here. I'll start out with this.
I'm buried in guns as usual, so.
Yeah. This is a little mare's leg. Somebody's going to ask a mare's leg, if they're listening, what in God's name is a mare's leg? That is like it's a Monte Carlo stock that stops about, I don't know, what, a quarter of the way into the rear of the stock. And it's classified, is it classified as a pistol?
It is a pistol.
By the ATF.
Yep, because that's technically not a stock. It's just
just grip.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a hand grip type setup.
This little guy would make an incredible truck gun.
Mm-hmm.
People think, nah, dude, I gotta have my 30 rounds, and 30 rounds isn't coming easy right now. We limit 30 rounds. When I say 30 rounds, I'm referring to 223. I mean, everybody comes in and buys in bulk, and we're the only ones in town that do that and sell it in bulk. But this guy would be an excellent little truck gun. It's chambered in 45 long Colt, and if you know anything about 45 long Colt, it was the cartridge that won the West, I guess. I don't know.
Very
or a 3840 maybe.
It's very snappy.
It can be.
Yes.
It can be.
There's a lot of loadings for it too, which is nice. You got a lot of options depending on what you're trying to do.
But for a truck gun, man, I mean, for self-defense, if you're talking about 240 grains in the ores, I mean, there's different.
All the way up to like 350 even.
I can't remember what the top end is.
It's a hunk of lead.
Yeah, you're telling me, man. And if you know how to run a lever, there's like a revival of lever guns going on. And I just, pardon the term, but I think they're sexy. Personally, I love lever guns.
Super cool.
This little guy right here, if you're looking for a good truck gun, or you're looking for something, even if you needed something for home defense, truck gun, man, it can serve a lot of purposes, and the ammo is available.
Yeah.
Because people go, I don't want no 45 long Colt. No, because they got to have 223 and 9mm. And so these are forgotten guns, forgotten cartridges that really have affected our world. I mean, you think of Elmer Keith back in the day. You're gonna show a 357 here in a minute.
Yep.
That rocks too. But so if you're looking for a little truck gun or something, or a home defense gun, something that can serve all purposes. It's small. You got to learn how to use it. I'll say that there is a little bit of a learning curve because of the round and because of a lever action. But hey, come by, look at this. It's a Rossi ranch hand in 45 long Colt, and you have some other stuff. Show that 357, man.
Yeah, so I've got a Henry over here. This guy is also a lever action. So this is a full length Henry right here, and well, nobody wrote the model number on there, but it's a H012M. So this is their standard 20-inch 357 Magnum or 38 Special, which both types of ammo are readily available right now. Down the road, they might thin out just because of the types of primers they use, but right now, 357, we've got that ammo on the shelf to sell out the door. I just checked on that while I was over there. In fact, we have ammo on the shelf for everything we're talking about today. But yeah, this is, Henrys are fantastic. The quality's fantastic. You've got a brass bead sight. It's still maneuverable. You can shoot these pretty fast if you study how to do it. I believe this is a 10-round gun. I believe. But yeah, this one's brand new. Some of these are used, but yeah, this is brand new.
10 rounds of 357 or 38 Special Plus P.
I'm sorry, it's 10 rounds of 38.
38.
9 with 357.
But man, I mean, if anybody knows, the 357 cartridge is a notorious man stopper.
Very big time.
And that's a full lever though.
Yes. Okay. This is a full lever. So yeah, you're gonna have to learn how to shoot a lever action properly, because there's a couple ways of doing it. They're really easy to shoot, though.
Yeah.
That's one thing to remember.
With deer season coming up too, I mean, it serves a purpose there. If you can use it for, and maybe start some kids out on it. I know you're a fan of the 30-30, Jim. You have some 30-30s?
Yeah, that was my first gun. My dad bought it for me when I was 12 years old, and I still use it sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool little gun.
Is it a Winchester or a Marlin?
It's a Marlin.
Okay.
So.
No, I mean, these are forgotten things that we don't often think about. And we always think about, and hey, we run custom built guns or custom built firearms manufacturing, and I mean, you shoot competition with, you can do some 3-gun on occasion.
Twice a year. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
But we all are big, black rifle people, but, there's a time that has come where the cartridge is hard to find, we were talking about Fallout games and stuff earlier.
Yeah, improvised firearms and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The other part, too, is just because we like the tactical stuff doesn't mean that we don't like this stuff, too.
That's right.
You got to be well-rounded if you're going to study the art of firearms. So,
And you look at, they say behind every door there's a 12 gauge, sometimes there's truth to that, and it's we could have is that 12 or 20 right there?
This guy here?
Yeah.
This is the Biden special 12
It's the Biden special.
Two shots.
Yeah.
Two shots, Jilly. Two shots, man.
Since we were talking about, forgotten firearms and stuff, I like to joke, over-unders are fantastic, so are side-by-sides, but these are always the Biden special because this is what you take out on your balcony and fire 2 blasts
in the air.
Mind you, that's not my advice. That was given by him, so I just want to clarify. I'm not telling you to do that. Don't do that.
Please don't, because you will get in trouble.
I brought this one over because 12-gauge ammo is still pretty available.
Yeah.
This guy here
20 is too.
Yeah, oh yeah. We're getting both of those regularly. This little guy here is a Stevens 555. It's a 12 gauge, over under. I believe we're at a 20, it looks like a 24-inch barrel. It's 2 3/4 or 3-inch.
Affordable, man. I'm looking at the price right now.
This is $450.
Come on, it's crazy affordable.
Yeah.
Now, for home defense, it's not going to be the most maneuverable thing, but if you need to cover a hallway and keep people out of your bedroom or out of your upstairs, you can use this. And just don't fire 2 blasts.
And you can have fun at the trap range. Or
absolutely.
Sure, you
skeet or sporting clays.
You run a 20 gauge, I
use a 12. I've got a 20 as well. So.
In a Browning, and yours is a Browning. But that one there, I mean that's a nice gun there.
It's very nice.
Yeah, and it's affordable.
Especially over and unders. You don't see them get into that price range that often.
No, and we do have some over there that are, if you're a collector or whatever, I mean, that are in that upper tier. But, it can be used for so many different things, a 12 gauge or a 20 gauge. There's so many loads, people don't realize out of a shotgun, all the way from a 8-shot, for your rabbit, squirrel, and dove, 7 shots. I generally use 7 when I'm out 7.5 when I'm out dove hunting. And I don't want to be shot by that.
Yeah,
I know that there's
none of it.
None of it.
Mess up your day.
But all the way up, I mean, to a slug coming out there. I mean, an 1.25 ounce piece of lead traveling at 1,600 feet per second, it's just an incredibly versatile gun. What do you run for competition? Is it an M4?
What's that? For 3-gun?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Benelli M4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I generally shoot 7.5.
Yeah.
Because that really works well on
gun.
pepper poppers and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And you got, and we get the ammo in. The other thing is that it's, it's decently inexpensive. I mean, you get 25 rounds for
$9 right now, I think, for game loads at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard to beat. So, forgotten things. We forget about this stuff. We just think sometimes about 9, 45, 223. think about the 12 gauge. Even in a slug, I still have yet. My goal is to shoot a deer. I've shot deer with all. Well, I've not taken one with a bow and arrow, but I've used 5.56 and 30-06, 308s, all kinds of other stuff. Yeah, but I've never taken one with a slug, and that is, for me as a sportsman, one of my goals, I guess. You know, is to take one with a slug, and I've actually put it on paper when I was, you know, I had a 500 that I sold, but anyhow, Mossberg 500, and I put on paper at 100 yards, pretty good. So with a good true ball slug from Federal, sorry. Little drop there, but no. And then what else do we have there? Do you have that one that was the octagonal barrel? That thing is sweet. Oh my gosh!
This is my favorite long gun I brought over.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's still available for sale. This gun's on consignment. This is a Uberti, and it's a pump action. The reason why that's so unique is it's a pump action 357 or 38.
Yeah.
So this thing is well rounded. It's super nice. It's got a straight stock on it. The trigger's fantastic. It's a really short throw pump because again we're loading pistol cartridges here, so you're not cycling nearly as far as you would be with a like a 12 gauge shotgun or what have you. But it's super classy too. It's a good thing I don't shoot cowboy action because I'd be running one of these.
That's a sweet gun. Cool. Yeah, Colt came out with that originally.
Yep.
Really?
And this is a Colt.
So Uberti then
redo.
Yeah, redo. Huh.
Yeah, and then they did it in a lot of calibers. So that the way that thing's set up, you can use it for a lot of.
I did not know
especially
that.
a lot of pistol.
Wow.
Caliber.
So 44
rounds.
mag probably.
Yeah, I think they did.
I've messed with one of these or shot one of these in 44 mag before.
I'll be doggone.
Yeah, I shot 44 special out of it, but
Well, and they actually went all the way down to 22 long rifle.
I'll be doggone.
So, yeah, so it really ran the gamut.
It is. I mean, it's just a sweet gun. Octagonal barrel. If you have a love for firearms, man, it's another one of those sexy guns. I mean, it's just, it's just one of those. And show them the stock there. I mean,
so it's got a frontier style stock.
Yeah,
so it does have a point at the bottom edge. So the best way to shoot one of these is to shoot with a bladed stance versus a traditional, normal modern day tactical style stance. So you do have to change how you shoot just a little bit. But once you do that, these things are absolute sweethearts.
Hurry up before Greg decides to buy it.
Oh, I won't be
he
buying
talks himself into it.
But I show this thing to everybody that comes in asking about lever action guns because if you're in the market for a lever gun, this should also be a heavy consideration.
If you're a big lever buyer or lever liker, you should be thinking about one like
Explain why 38 and 357 the primers are still available.
Well, they're really not.
Well, I mean,
entirely right now.
Relatively speaking,
357. To answer the 357 side, Magnum primers, Magnum small pistol primers are still kind of a thing. Or we're chipping through reserves that distributors have had. I'm not sure which way that really is going, but that ammo is still available.
Yeah.
So.
And it's just a formidable cartridge. We're going to talk about 44 Special here in a little bit too, but I mean, we forget about this stuff. We think, it's old and it's out of date. No, man, it's steel, it's wood, it works. And it's just some sweet stuff. So what else do we have on the old spinner there?
Let's see. You grabbed this one out of Jim's office, so I'm not sure what this is right off.
Jim can tell us.
Yeah, Jim. What is this rifle?
That's a Browning 308 is the caliber, and it's got a carbon fiber stock with it, and nice light gun that's really accurate.
You took a stag with that.
I did, and I ate it too.
and he ate it. No, I mean, it's a sweet gun. And we forget about, we have 308 right now in bulk boxes on the floor in the retail area right now as we speak. 250 rounds of 308.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's,
you know,
we've got
and-
good prices on the, that hasn't gone crazy yet.
And I've noticed too, the 308 is still in hunting cartridges and stuff. There's quite a bit of that over there. 270, 243.
We've even got like 6.5 Creedmoor right now.
Yeah,
People haven't cleaned us out on any of the full house cartridges yet.
Yeah.
It's all
Right.
the intermediate stuff.
Right.
So there's things to think about, y'all, in the long gun realm, other than just 5.56 and 223. If you live out on outside of town, maybe, and you can have a 308, as a home defense rifle. I mean, God help the person on the other end of it. I mean,
And your eardrums too.
yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
a 5.56
Yeah.
though inside
Oh,
is
yeah. Devastating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make you deaf.
Well, and
And-
it's a good hunting, and if you have an AR-10, I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
a cross.
I mean, it's just a great round. 38. So if you're in town in a 38 plus P, in a in a carbine length, you're going to get some speed out of that. Or 357. If you're going to load it up with 357 mag, I'm telling you, somebody that's nefariously doing something, or doing a felonious act of coming into your home or whatever it may be, and you have to protect yourself and your family, God help them. the people on the other end of that. The 12 gauge. I mean, that's like notorious, man. You look at the stats, there's some great stats to look at. I know Greg Langner did a whole study on 1,700 shootings over, I think it was 3 or 5 years. And the number one man stopper, of all things, was the 12 gauge.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason why the Germans tried to get the 12 gauge banned in
true.
international warfare, because we kept showing up and clearing trenches with them, and they're just nasty. I mean,
When we had one of those come through the shop not long ago, didn't we?
I worked on one a while
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool guns.
I was here that day, and the guy brought it in, and it was in the garbage bag, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was just wrapped in like butcher paper.
Yeah,
and it was rough.
He had just a shell was stuck in there,
Yep.
and a round was stuck. It wasn't a live round though. I don't believe it was.
No, it was a spent casing.
Spent casing.
The gun had been left in a garage,
Yeah.
and luckily rust hadn't gotten a hold of it. But whatever lubricant had been used on the gun, it just completely seized
Yeah.
it up. So
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and the gentleman didn't know what we're all looking at it, standing there with our eyeballs like this, big as saucers, and said, "Do you realize what that is?" And the gentleman said, "No, that's an authentic trench gun."
it had the ordnance
Yeah,
stamps on
yeah.
it. Yeah, it was
cool.
a bring back
that
from
was
the war.
yeah. I mean,
Yes.
I remember that day very vividly, Jim. I mean, it was. I'd never been around one.
Yeah.
I think you have.
Yeah.
And I had never touched one. I just wanted to, after you worked on it and got it free, I just wanted to hold it because I'm like, dude, this is like history in your hands,
You never know what it saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite part about that gun is you can slam fire it, and so what
Yeah.
that means to the
It's true.
audience. So with certain pump action shotguns, and there's even a couple rifles out there,
Mm-hmm.
you can slam fire. I mean, you can hold down the trigger, and when you hold down the trigger, you cycle the pump, and when you throw the pump forwards, the gun's going to fire again.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having to pump the gun, then press the trigger, and then pump the gun and press the trigger, you just hold the trigger and pump the gun right out.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just an incredible
Super cool.
piece of machinery. It's cool what we have come through here. And that's, come down to the shop and check things out. It isn't just, just the modern stuff that we have. We have just a gamut of stuff. We get some
do.
collections in.
We do.
And,
Just never know what's going to come through that front door.
in fact, you picked up a P38?
P38, I've got a couple of them.
Yeah.
Couple
And,
cool CZs too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Couple.
yours is in mint condition.
They're in nice shape, yeah.
Yeah.
And, one of them was a
Still work.
bring back from the war. So,
Yeah.
they still work. We've shot them.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. We forget about these guns, and we don't want to forget about them. On the other side, we're going to take a break, and then on the other side, we got some wheelies, and we're going to talk about the wheelies on the other side. So we'll be right back after this. Back at the Bullet Hole Podcast, I'm Lyle Cadell, the media manager here at the Bullet Hole. We've been talking about forgotten guns, forgotten weapons. Ian, don't get mad at us.
Yeah, unfortunately, I hate to spoil it, but Ian's not on the other side of the curtain.
Yeah.
I'd be
For
cool if he was here.
those who don't know, they're probably like, "What? What are you talking about? Who's Ian?" Ian, what is the other guy's name?
Ian McCollum runs Forgotten Weapons,
Yeah.
and then he helps out with Carl Casadra
Carl,
on In Range
yes.
TV.
That's I couldn't.
If y'all want to learn a high level bit about firearms, watch both of their channels. I study those channels heavily because all of us here, I'd consider us experts, but you can learn something new every day.
Oh man, those dudes are
That channel, or those channels, I should say,
Yeah.
I learn something new every day when I watch those.
We'll have to do a future one, and we'll tease it maybe with the that original Bushmaster.
Yeah.
With the bullpup.
Yep. He did. Ian did a video on that one. That was sometime this year.
really.
Yeah, because we got that estate sale in, and
Yeah.
I had just watched the video like a couple weeks prior about that bullpup, which is pretty cool.
Ian helped write the latest book with Larry Vickers,
He's worked
or
a couple on those.
two of them.
And
Yeah.
then he's worked with a bunch of appraisal and history books.
Yeah.
His dad was a huge Japanese rifle collector, and he's a
Oh,
huge
very
French
cool.
rifle collector.
Yeah.
So they both have written books, to my knowledge, as well on those topics as well.
Carl's in the tech sector, I think,
Yep.
and stuff. But I mean, they're guys that just like way out of my league, man.
Well, that's
So,
amazing how technical all the markings and the different, versions and different things like that can get with all those
It's
old
cool
military
stuff.
rifles.
I mean, Milsurp stuff. We have some Milsurp stuff here, and that's the other thing. I think there was an M1 over there.
Yeah, we've got an M1 Garand or Garand, depending on how
However
you
you
like
wanna
to
say
say
it.
that. We've got a Ishapur 308.
Mm-hmm.
It's an infield clone, basically, from India. We've got some Ruski stuff, so we've got some Mosins in there. I think we've got an SKS as well.
Yeah, I did see an SKS.
Yep, an SKS with ammo too. It comes with 7.62 by 39.
Yeah, so
which is steel case.
if and that's the interesting thing too. We still have a pile of Red Army over there.
Oh, yeah.
We do.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see us running out anytime soon there. We've got a good place to be able to get all that. And we're going to be getting a couple of pallets of 5.56 and some 9mm
Steel case.
Steel case Red Army stuff either later this month or the beginning of next month.
That'll be awesome.
But the 7.62 by 39, everybody associates with an AK, but originally, originally it would have been with the SKS.
Oh no, the
Yeah.
AK came first.
Did it? Yes, it did. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. I
Yeah,
apologize.
the
And-
SKS was developed as a rifle for the proletariat or
Yes.
conscripts. So
But having the SKS available,
Yep.
all I know, it doesn't have the box mag and all that type of thing.
it can be adapted to have one.
It can
very
be
cheaply.
adapted, yes.
Very cheap.
It doesn't have the
Yeah.
banana clip hanging out the bottom, but it can be adapted. But they're incredibly. They run. They were built to run. And they just incredible guns. We were going to talk about wheel guns. We got two specimens of wheel guns here. One is chambered in the vulnerable.
So we've got 357
Yes.
and 44 mag.
There you go.
There's a reason why.
Both are Smiths.
Yes, there's a reason why I grabbed both of these, because we were talking about 357 and 38. With 44 mag, you can do the same thing with 44 special that you can with a 357. So
That's right.
you can fire 44 special, have a 44 mag. That's what I prefer to do, honestly. For some reason, I've got this absolute love affair with 44 Special.
Really?
I love
I never
shooting
knew
that
that.
cartridge. Yeah. Because with your 44 mag handguns, now mind you, this is an Airlight that we've got here. So this is a 329 PD. Basically, what you've got is a light and frame. You've got a V-notch rear sight with a beautiful fiber optic front sight.
I've ran one of those before.
Presswood grips. Because it's a PD series gun, it has a performance center trigger on it too, and it's golden. But the reason why I like the 44 Special is because most of your firearms that are chambered in 44 mag are extremely heavy, and so when you pair it up with the softer 44 Special, it's just absolutely fantastic to shoot because you're shooting a gigantic bullet with very little recoil. So this is probably my favorite revolver in the shop right now. Again, if I won the lottery, I'd probably buy a couple of these just for fun. So, yeah.
And Jim has a favorite gun over there too, a wheel gun. What is it?
Oh, I've got the 629 with a 45 ACP.
625.
Is it six?
Yeah,
It's a 625
I'm sorry.
Thunder Ranch.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a Thunder Ranch.
And
Yes.
he's been sitting over there going,
Well, we've got two of them still, don't we?
I have one in my office right now.
That's what I was getting at. There
I
it is.
didn't know that. Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
there's a couple of those here.
So, I mean, these are forgotten things. You were sharing with me. I've shot 44 mag, but I've never shot a 44 Special. And
Yeah.
you were sharing with me. You said that the recoil impulse. Everybody thinks like 44 mag, and they think Dirty Harry, and like bam, But you said a 44 Special really has the recoil impulse of just over a 45 ACP.
Yeah, so I used to own a 625. It's one of those guns I regret getting rid of. I just didn't really shoot it enough, but every time I did shoot it, it's fantastic. And the big thing I'll say there is that the recoil on a 625 is extremely soft. When you take a 44 mag and put 44 Special in it, it's just about as soft. It's just a little harsher, just a little bit, but not by much at all.
I mean, it's 240 grains plus of lead rolling down range. I mean, that's and again, ammo's available.
Yep.
And that's the thing that now this piece here that we're looking at, and if you're listening, it's like super light. It's an it's an airweight frame made out of scandium.
Yep, it's scandium.
Yeah. Airlight, excuse me, not airweight. Super light. I mean, literally, this thing's probably lighter than. I mean, I had to put it on a scale, but I would say, would you say that's as light as a fully loaded Glock?
Yeah, it's right around
17?
there. And so that's on top of that. That's why I'd exclusively, if I were to buy that gun, I'd exclusively run it with 44 Special because it's extremely lightweight.
Yeah.
So if you did run it with 44 mag, it'd be probably a little bit much. But that gun was designed as a bear deterrent type firearm anyways.
Well, yeah, you took kind of my.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to say it's a great gun to carry with you if you're backcountry out west. And you're maybe elk hunting or something along that line, and you're wanting something that will protect you if a bear or something like that would come up. And it's light to carry; it'd be easy to pack with you. It's not like you'd have a full 44 Magnum big frame gun hanging on your, if you did a chest rig or something.
If that was all you had for self-defense, I don't think you're outgunned.
Oh no, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, that 625 that you like, that Thunder Ranch gun is just.
It's a cool gun.
It's a cool gun.
My true love for that 625 series gun is really with the moon clips. I love moon clip revolvers. Yeah. Well, I mean, it defeats the need for going out and buying speed loaders to transfer ammo. And just for the audience, so on revolvers, if you're not super familiar, there's a bunch of companies out there like Speed Bees and HKS that make speed loaders. So you take your ammo, you clip it in the speed loader, and then when you go to reload this thing, you clear your cylinder out, and then you pull out your speed loader, and you align everything so that the rounds go into the cylinder, and then you got to press a button or turn a knob, and it drops the ammo into the cylinder. Whereas, on your 625s or any moon gun, as they call them, the moon clips, you clip your ammo into this little ring, and it looks kind of like a ninja star, and that essentially acts as your speed loader. The nifty part about it, though, is it's an internal speed loader. So you drop the moon clip and the ammo into the cylinder, and you rock and roll from there. So it's kind of cool because you've got a built-in speed loader. It's one less thing to worry about.
They're actually faster than the speed loader.
Far faster.
And the other thing that I took from Hickok 45 was that, and I grew up on the wheel gun. I mean, that was what my grandpa was a gunsmith, and that was what we grew up on. But the cartridges. Excuse me, got a frog in my throat. But anyhow, the cartridges are there. With a semi-automatic, they're spitting out, and you got to go looking around on the ground if you're a reloader and to gather a brass. If you're a reloader, chink.
Yep.
I got all my brass, and it's just a classy guns.
It's the other cool part about like shooting competition with revolvers as well is you've got a moon gun set up.
It's true.
When you dump everything out, it's just like picking up a magazine off the ground versus chasing your brass around and having to sweep it all up.
What do you guys do for competition when I know you reload. I mean, what do you chase it around or what?
Oh, it depends on where you're at. If I'm shooting outside, I don't usually collect my brass. But like Friday nights up here, we sweep everything off to the side. We sort it out by caliber with a series of trays that are slotted, so you can kind of sift everything through. And then we kind of do like a gentleman's divvy up of whatever brass gets collected. So, the downside there, though, is you pick up all the fragments and the dirt and debris off the range too. So it burns up your tumbling media when you got to reload, and it gets messy. So the moon clip thing's super cool because I've got a couple guys that I shoot with at some of the Mill Creek USPSA matches that run revolvers, and when they're done with their runs, they just go and pick up their moon clips, and boom, they're back to square one with their brass. It's clean. There's no lead or anything mixed in with it.
And we got plenty of Hodgdon powder and Alliant and IMR over in the store, and there's a lot of reloading supplies that we carry, and we have a great relationship. In fact, we're going to have a sit down. I think you're going to be in on that.
Looking forward to that.
Oh man,
That's
I am too.
A lot of fun.
Sit down interview with 3 generations of the Hodgdon family who own Hodgdon powder, and of course started it right here. In this building.
In this building.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
So we're going to be, within the next 2 weeks, going to be sitting down with JB, Bob, and Chris, and then Chris's son. And that's going to be, that's going to be like, that's going to be an honor, truly, for me. I've known Chris and Bob for years, but just a really cool thing to have them all sit down at the same spot.
Yeah.
So you want to, make sure you catch that podcast. This other 357 is a model.
This is a
19?
66-1.
66.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So this is a 357 mag 6-shot 66-1. So 6 denotes that it's stainless.
Yep.
So this one you don't have to worry about the bluing on it or anything like that. It is a. Let's see, that's the 4-inch model right there. So it's going to be real controllable, but it's not absolutely gigantic to shoot. So
I had a 686 and a 6-inch that I used to hunt with, and loved that gun. That's one of those guns like you sold your 625 off. Yep. I sold that 686, and I'm like, that was stupid, Lyle. That was dumb. But that gun right there, if that was the only gun you had for self-defense,
it's beautiful.
I've watched a guy take a nice deer at 40 yards with a 4-inch 357 Magnum. It's a federal round. It's a Barnes bullet. That's devastating, and you can do, and then throw 38 specials in there, and just go plink, 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 and we forget about these things, and these great old guns, proven. I mean, I think of Elmer Keith, man, and these guys, back in the day, and they're loading these things up for Barry.
Yeah, and think about all the law enforcement that used to carry these. These have a heck of a proven track record for shooting and all that good
as
stuff.
a gunsmith, people say revolvers are the best because they'll never fail. Is that true?
No.
That's a mechanical device.
Yeah, it's true.
So the biggest thing that comes up with revolvers that I see, so revolvers are just like semi-autos, or quality semi-autos, I should say, where generally parts don't fail on the gun. I don't have to work on these a whole lot in regards to parts changing, that sort of thing, at least with Smith & Wessons. Dan Wessons, that's another story.
Really?
Rossi, Taurus, any single action Army clone, I work on those quite a bit. They use a lot of leaf springs, and leaf springs, they're almost like paper clips where, they get bent back and forth enough and they do crack and fail, and there's all kinds of different interesting things going on with those. But your Smith & Wesson double single guns, your Ruger double single guns, all that, you don't work on a whole lot. With that being said, people say that they don't jam, and there's a lot of different things like that they claim that are absolutely not true. First off, when I hear people say that a gun doesn't jam, generally I kind of take that with a grain of salt, because a jam is a slang term to begin with. So I never classify a firearms malfunction as a quote jam. Is it a failure to extract? Is it a failure to feed? Failure to fire? So on and so forth. So with revolvers, failure to eject is the biggest issue you'll have with one of these.
How'd it happen?
Yeah. So the big deal here is you've got hot brass that is retained in a cylinder after you fire it. Should you go to reload quickly, these guns can snag, and when I say snag, when you go to eject the brass from the cylinder, and I'm hitting the ejector here for the camera, your brass can become and that one's
chamfered out. I just noticed that.
Yeah, this.
Wow.
Well, this one, it's chamfered slightly. This gun has been worked on. No, you're okay.
A little rabbit.
No, so this gun has been worked on, not by me, but somebody has gone through this and done a slick job on it. With that being said, in order to clear one of these, you have to basically go and tap the ejector rod against a hard surface. If you don't do that perfectly straight, you can bend the ejector rod and then you're really hosed. So, people say, hey, these don't malfunction. They absolutely can and will. And, if you're using this gun defensively, especially, it might take more than six rounds. It's not like the movies. It usually takes more than one. Usually it takes more than five.
Man, they can sit there and shoot forever. Did you ever notice that in the movies?
Oh, yeah. I have seen the Untouchables, yep.
I'm telling you, they never run out, man.
Now, proof is in the pudding. So, people say all these things. Well, then why is there such thing as the New York Reload, which is where guys would carry 5 or 6 J-frame revolvers, and when they would empty one, they would drop it and then grab another one, and so they'd load their jacket pockets up with a bunch of guns, because reloading these is not perfect. So.
No, but they're a great weapon. Yep. Reliable. They really are reliable, especially a reliable brand. Smith and Ruger have made a name for themselves.
Real quick, just to jump into, it might sound like I'm ragging on these. I'm absolutely not. My only intent is to say, hey, these are just as reliable as semi-autos. They do have their shortcomings, just like semi-autos do. So
I've had a squib load in a .357 Magnum. Because it was reloaded, and powder charge wasn't good enough. I've had another reload, because I was getting reloads from a friend of mine for that .357 Magnum. That was the bullet wasn't seated right, and thus caught the cone, so the fortune cone coming around, and so then you're sitting there jacking with it, trying to get it open, and so there are things with a revolver that can go wrong, but there's just as many things on a, you very, very well know with a semi that can go wrong. But these forgotten, what we're sticking with our theme, I mean, these kind of forgotten guns that there's still ammo available, they're still viable, they can still help you out in your home, maybe if you carry or whatever. Like we said, I mean, this light little, I say little, but I mean, this little 44 mag right here. I mean,
It is
truly,
little
it is.
for a 44 mag.
It is. It is.
It's just so light, man. That it's just.
The other part I really like about that too are the slim grips. It's designed to
Yes,
carry. You
yes.
can tell it is because it doesn't have like on
The
your
big wood
66
grips, yeah.
here. You can see the butt here. It's absolutely huge. And then we flip it over to the Model 29, nice and slim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Just a beautiful package. But any other forgotten guns that you can think of, Jim, that and maybe in your lifetime, you've seen, and then people have just kind of pushed them aside? And,
Oh, I think some of the coolest old ones that you don't see anybody carrying anymore is like the old 1903 that Colt came out with.
yeah.
That was a neat old gun, and it was one that was the first probably concealed carry guns of its time. And with it being a semi-auto, and they started them out with a 32 ACP, and then they went on up to a 380 as that run went on that. But you find them, and if you do find them, usually they're in really bad
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
and you can get those today, but they're expensive guns. You're looking at almost $1,000 for that gun.
Those are also one of my favorites too. I like how
They're small. It's a
Yeah.
really cool little gun.
and it's got that large beaver tail safety on it and a teeny tiny manual safety, so you can carry that gun,
Cock and
loaded,
lock.
chambered, and you don't even have to use the safety if you don't want to, because the beaver tail safety on that particular Browning design, in my opinion, was properly designed because it runs the entirety of the back of the frame,
Yeah.
and if you're gripping the gun, it is in fact
Correctly, yeah.
deactivated. Yeah.
Any guns maybe that you would think that are just kind of forgotten, that are just good old guns, and ammo's still available.
Honestly, it'd have to be our older revolvers, the double action, single action stuff. We do actually sell quite a few here, but I see people, by and large, the collectors are the guys that come in looking for them. The average shooter just glosses right over them, and some of the best shooters I know shoot revolvers really well, and they shoot everything else really well, because mastering a revolver trigger, if you master a revolver
Yes.
trigger, you are a true shooter.
Did you watch the Jerry Miculek? He did. There's a bio piece out there. It's like 45 minutes long. He did it on his channel on YouTube. Give Jerry a shout out. He is a human cyborg, sorry, he is a cyborg.
His daughter's getting there too.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
runs
Lena
in their
is
blood. It's
incredible.
insane. Yeah.
But he talks. It's a really, if you get seriously, if you get a chance to look it up on YouTube, and he talked about that very thing. He said, "Man, if I learned I could run that revolver, and of course to this day that's his gun. He loves a revolver." But he says, and then when I got to a semi-automatic, it's like, huh.
Yeah.
And you can imagine that dude's finger. It's like,
Oh yeah.
He holds many world records. With a revolver, he holds several world records.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Shooting and reloading and then shooting.
Yeah.
So.
Like what, 1.6 seconds
Yes.
or
Yeah,
something like that.
I've seen that
It's 12
video. and
rounds,
it's
one
just-
reload.
It's incredible.
But that very point he made, he said, if you can learn how to shoot a double action revolver,
Yeah,
you're
we have a
good to
guy
go.
in our shop that can do that, and it's impressive. And then when you watch him shoot other stuff, it's like a walk in the park
Yeah.
compared to
When you go from 10, 11 pound trigger to a 5.5 pound or lighter, that's like, holy cow.
like I've wanted to shoot some of the I-Core matches, and I've got a buddy, real good buddy of mine that wants to shoot them too, but I've kind of wanted to go down there and try it just to kind of be around those guys and see how they run their gear and all that, because it's a lost art, or it's an art that we are losing currently
Yeah.
as to how to properly run one of these guns. And I can shoot them okay, but not fast. That's for sure. I'm not fast with one of those.
So forgotten weapons, forgotten guns. So if you come over to the Bullet Hole, please come in our shop and come by. If you're in the Kansas City area, maybe you're outside the Kansas City area, I don't know. And come over to 6201 Robinson Street here in Overland Park, where we're located, and come and see us.
Yeah. Love to have you.
Yeah, and it's, hey, and everybody always asks about range fees. I just got a message this morning. What's our range fees? It's $25 for an annual membership. If you just come in for the day and you're out of town, and you're just like, I'm not ever going to come here, probably, again this year, it's $17. It's not an hour. It's for the day.
Right.
So
you can leave for lunch, come back, and as long as you have a receipt with you to show, hey, you were already here, we'll let you back out there.
Yeah, we have that happen quite a bit.
We're not going to stop from selling you targets just because you left. Come on back.
We got range ammo.
We do.
Too.
We do.
And got a great selection of rental guns. Try before you buy. Just a lot of opportunity right here at the Bullet Hole, and these forgotten weapons are here at the Bullet Hole.
Right.
The other part to mention too is it's always fun when you're working the gun counter and you get somebody in that's actually interested in these types of guns too, because I always learn something.
Yeah,
always. There's a couple guys that are probably popping into your guys' minds right now, and every time they come in, you get schooled, and it's a fun kind of school.
Yeah.
So,
There's a lot of guys who know more than we know.
Mm-hmm. No. Well, I think we've got our point across, and I think folks, I've enjoyed our time together here today, and it's always good to talk about old guns and stuff. I've been a gun. I was raised, from the time I was born. I don't even remember. My grandpa was a cop and a gunsmith, so that was Hoppy's number 9 was his cologne,
Ballistol's mine.
Yeah, spread some on. We've got to become a dealer, They got to come on. Or it's Ballistol if you're watching.
Yeah, I'll put your name on my jersey.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, but no, and so to be around, to dream sometimes, to work in a gun shop if you're a gun nut. But
Very cool.
Anyhow, forgotten guns. Come and check them out here at the Bullet Hole. Check us out on Facebook as well as Instagram, as well as across there's other media platforms. Our YouTube channel, if you're watching this, you're probably seeing it on our YouTube channel, huh? On my part, but also our podcast can be heard on. I think we're now up to 8 platforms. The most used is Spotify, but I think there's Google Podcasts. There's the Apple Tunes or Apple Podcasts, excuse me. And a bunch of others. So if you can catch us, you can get a hold of us, and if you need to email us, info@thebullet.com. You want to get a hold of the boss man, Jim at thebullet.com. I'm media at thebullet.com. And I am
now gunsmith at thebullet.com.
There you go.
Right.
So you can get a hold of us. We're out there. We want to be reachable for you, and we want to be here for you. So until next time, guys.
Awesome.
Be good, and y'all have a great. For us, it's turning evening here, so have a great week this week, and that's coming, or the great day that you're coming into. I don't know when you're listening or watching. So, but we'll talk to you later. Take care.